Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans. We are a nation founded on the truth that all of us are created equal. We are equal in the eyes of our Creator. We are equal under the law.
In late 2016, a collection of Nazis and KKK Klanspersons met in Charlottesville to protest something, or generally be annoying. I don't remember why, and it's not important enough to my point to Google, but it is worth noting that it was a pitiful small gathering. Getting a group of white supremacists together is super hard these days, unless you offer free pedicures, or hold it under large banners that read, "I'm with her," but I digress. A big collection of other jerks came out to protest these jerks, and, shocking as it may be to those of you literally living under rocks and shallow holes in the ground, there was violence. I know, you expected the white supremacists and the black supremacists and other assorted loonies to meet and say, "Hey look, we all love segregating people by color and assigning some value or identity to them based on their skin tone. Let's meet on that common ground and talk out our differences over a grande skinny latte." Instead, someone ran over other people with a car. On purpose. I have to add on purpose, because in places like, for instance, Chicago, people getting run over with a car happens with alarming regularity, but it's often an accident caused by careless pedestrians walking on or near the street or on the sidewalk or occasionally in the lobby of posh hotels. So why have Americans, with a surprising lot in common, chosen screaming at the top of their lungs and running each other down with motor cars over rational discourse? Why can't we have a reasonable discussion about our differences? And why is racism still so popular? I blame Darwin. In order to get students to buy evolution, we had to stop teaching them debate and logic. You may think I'm being sarcastic, but I mean this in all seriousness. Schools used to teach logic, debate, and argumentation. Students used to be taught how to spot logical fallacies, how to process information so as to tell truth from lies. We also used to be able to tell real Nazis from other ordinary white people who don't watch CNN or subscribe to BuzzFeed. If you can understand evolution as well as I do, you quickly see that there is no way to teach it without applying logical fallacies. Darwinian evolution literally forces you to accept the idea that you can add by subtracting. In short, if we taught logic to the kids, they'd never buy into evolution, so something had to give. The high school I attended seems to have replaced logic and reason with consecutive semesters of badminton. To ensure enough dumb to sell evolution to the kids in American public schools, logic is no longer taught. Debate is no longer a core subject. Reason has been replaced with emotion, and the schools also teach you what you are supposed to feel, but not why. Many college classes are now less informative than a late-night infomercial. After several generations of this intellectual wilting, we now have a culture which does not know how to face disagreement without being instantly offended. We don't know how to consider a bad idea apart from the person, so that we can say, "You may be a good person and a smart person, but you believe a stupid idea." Now the best we can do is, "You're a racist, bigot, Nazi!" Also, more and more people are deciding that it's okay to punch people merely for disagreeing with you. Seriously, we no longer have the sense to say, "Explain to me why you think that." Now we just skip straight to a punch in the face.
They deserve the welfare. No, it's fine.
I have seen news stories of leftists who attack bald white men because they assume that only a Nazi skinhead would be both white and bald at the same time. I am sadly not making this up. It's like we have a generation raised on professional wrestling. They watch some guy give his opinion about a recent event, and in response, someone hits him with a chair when he isn't looking. These kids watched that and said to themselves, "Okay, I guess that's how adults deal with disagreement."
I think this is fake.
You think it's fake? What's that? Is that fake? You think it's fake?
And then these idiots went to UC Berkeley and became professors. Darwinism is the foundation of politically correct racism, which leads to the violence occurring. The only reason why we think there are races in the first place is because we have swallowed this horrible Darwinian garbage, and because of that, we have divided the human race into subspecies, just as Darwin himself did. Both sides of these fights are people who reject the Bible, accept evolution as fact, subdivide the human race into different species, and then assign certain traits or meaning to those species. The clanspersons and the liberal fruitcakes who hate them are essentially in agreement about almost everything. Unfortunately, one of the things they agree on is the choice to bypass debate for a swift punch in the nose. Maybe we should pass laws requiring all those people to arrive at their protests and counter-protests in bumper cars. You know, just in case. Remember, you are all brothers and sisters, made in the image of God. And Jesus loves you.